Last week we completed our little storage unit here, but that's left us with another problem. We have this table right across from it that's a different style and doesn't have any drawers. And because it doesn't have any drawers, it's become a catch-all. Let's see if we can come up with a plan to fix this problem. What I've done here is I've set my depth of my blade at 3/8 of an inch, which is the width that I want the rabbet. Now let me show you how I set up the depth. The backer board I'm using is this 1/2 inch plywood. So what I want to do is I want to set the width here at the thickness of my plywood. Okay, there's my back dado that will receive my backer board. I'm using 1/2 inch plywood on this. Well, welcome to another Memphis Monday. You saw the problem in the intro there. I need to replace that little table with another table that has drawers in it. And I realize now I kind of got ahead of myself. I was so excited about the project that I started showing you the process for making rabbets, and you don't even know what we're building yet. Here's a little line drawing of the concept piece here, with the door closed to keep it consistent with last week's work on the storage unit. It's going to have one of those big doors, approximately the same size, that's going to cover up the front. But then, and also consistent with last week's project, this door on this right side, you can see the door opens up. And when the door opens up, it reveals 3 utility drawers. Okay, I've got it all mocked up. You can see the dado in here. Now this dado, this rabbet all around the edges here, this is in place to receive a 1/2 inch sheet of plywood that'll serve as the back. Okay, I've got the side clamped into place at 90 degrees, and down here at the bottom I've got clamps holding the bottom in place while I install the pocket screws. Because sometimes when you screw these pocket screws in, things want to move, and I don't want them to move. What I'm doing here, of course, is just installing the trim. This shouldn't take long, and we'll be installing the drawer guides. I got all the trim on the box, which of course, as you recall, is important. It needs to be on there before I put the drawer slides in. Let's go over to the other side of the shop and I'll show you what I got going on over there. I'll try to make the top out of this. So let me take this thing apart and we'll figure out how to turn a circle into a square. Okay, that's pretty straight. Now let's take it over to the table saw and see if we can do some more damage. I got that top cut out, so while we're at it, we'll just go ahead and put the trim on it. Now, the thing about this trim, it's going to be cut to where it's just a 1/16 of an inch proud of the surface of the top here, because we're going to install a piece of plexiglass. You can probably see the shine on the camera. Here's a close-up of the raised lip here that the glass is going to go into. And there it is. I don't always use the metric system because, you know, I'm not used to it and I don't think in metric, but for cabinet making, when you got to do a lot of operations on numbers, it's much easier than to be using fractions. So using the metric system, you know, centimeters and millimeters, I figured out that my first block will be 8.275, my second block will be 15.275, third block will be 15.275, my last block, which will be a check block, will be 8.275. So let's build those blocks. Just like we've done before, there's my first line. Put my 15.2 block in there. There's my second line. Put my next 15.2 block in there. And there's my third line. Okay, I'm installing these drawer slides, and I wanted to show you something here. It might look a little daunting, you know, trying to get the measurements here exactly on those drawers with no give at all. Well, you don't have any give if the things are too big. They just won't fit between the two drawer slides. If you make the drawer, if you happen to make the drawer a 1/16 of an inch too narrow, there is a little bit of give if you put your screws in on these tabs. And there's another tab down here at the beginning. But these you can spring them out about a 1/16 of an inch if you've made a serious measuring error on your drawer. If you remember the drawing, each of the 3 utility boxes are going to have a little handhold up there at the top, a little oblong hole. Let me show you how to do that. If you remember the other cases we built, we held the back on in a rabbet that went all the way around the inside, and that's good. But today we're just going to nail the back directly onto the box. Our first utility drawer is going in. Let's hope it fits. Oh man, it's good. Well, we got her all put together here. Let's start working on that big front door. Finish nails are only going to go in a little more than a half an inch. These things are 16 gauge, so I'll be using the largest finish nailer I have here. Well, I got all the parts put together, and what I'm doing now is staining it. I'm going to stain it the same color as the big storage unit that we built last week. I have everything stained. That's the door, the drawers, the top, and there's the case. I'm going to get the finish on it before I do any more assembly. So I'm going to let this stain dry a little bit, then start putting a little polyurethane on it. And once the polyurethane dries, at least enough to handle, I will do some more assembly. What I'm doing here is installing some drawer liners. I have some of that black cushioning stuff that left over from the stackable toolbox job. So I'm putting that in the center, and then I'm putting some spray adhesive, if I can get it to work, around the outsides, just to stick this felt down so it won't slide around the case. But someday, if I ever want to take it out, it would be doable. Okay, the next thing I have to do is install the hinges on the door. What I'm going to do is I'm going to recess the hinges, and rather than knock this out here with a chisel, which I probably should do, but I'm going to try something different. I'm going to use a straight cutting bit on my router to recess this hinge. Okay, here's a straight cutting bit I'm using. I really should use a straight cutting bit like this, a bigger one, but this one won't fit in my router. So the theory is I can put this thing in here like this and then run it through, and then it leaves me that nice little cutout. Let's do a practice, and then we'll do the real deal. Okay, I'm going to keep you kind of zoomed in here so you can see it. Not a whole lot to see, except it starts jumping around. Then it'll be interesting. Okay, that ought to do it. Let's try it on the real deal. Okay, if I mess this up, I guess I'll have to make a new door. One thing to remember when you do something new is that it doesn't always work. Cutting one of these recesses with a router is not new by any means, but doing it with a straight cutting bit sideways has its drawbacks. Alrighty, let's let this thing down and see if the door works. All the doors I've done, look at that. Can you believe it? Let's try to get a plan. Before I go full demolition derby on this thing, I'm gonna just install some new hinges. Finally. I can only guess that that was a faulty set of hinges, because now it works. Here I'm installing the glass. The problem with this plexiglass, it really picks up a lot of static, and it just draws. It just draws dirt and dust. Well, there she is. My little junk collector is now a storage unit. It's modeled after this one we built over here last week, and we built its little brother this week. Check out how those drawers look. Door opens up. Pull the drawer out. Bingo. Well, I guess that'll about do it for another exciting Memphis Monday. We got our little table built. I figured it's going to be an easy project, and then things were going awful well. And then the door didn't fit, so we had a little drama. But it turns out it just had a bad hinge. All right, so make sure you share and tweet and Facebook and comment. Comment is the most important thing. But more importantly, be back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for watching.